Welcome to my Essential Poetry Readings. Today I am presenting you Nizar Qabbani's poetry and his treatment, very delicate one, of women and their role and status in modern society. We all know that Qabbani was born in 1923 in Damascus to a middle-class family. He attended the University of Damascus, from where he finished a law degree. And while doing his degree, he started writing poetry and published his first romantic collection of poems entitled The Brunette Told Me in 1944. The collection attracted young readers, for it is written in the common language, in addition to Qabbani stepping into the world of the taboo by writing about femininity and eroticism. It was really a collection of romantic verses that made several startling references to a woman's body, sending shock waves throughout the conservative society in Damascus. Qabbani started his diplomatic career after his graduation, which enabled him to travel to and live in different places such as Madrid, London, and China. His frequent life outside of the Middle East has enabled him to express himself openly, free of his cultural restrictions and cultural regulations. Qabbani went through many of life crises, starting early at age 15, when he lost his sister, who committed suicide as she refused a loveless marriage. This incident influenced Qabbani to speak out against Arab rigid traditions, social regulations, and attitudes toward women, and he referred to his sister as the martyr of love. Qabbani stated after his sister's death, I quote, "Love in the Arab world is like a prisoner, and I want to set it free. I want to free the Arab soul, the Arab sense and body with my poetry." Then he suffered the loss of his oldest son, Tawfiq Qabbani, who died of a heart attack at the age of 22, and finally the loss of his beloved wife, Balkis, in 1982 by bomb attack on the Iraqi embassy in Beirut during the Lebanese civil war. Her death left a psychological impact on Nizar, and he mourned her with a famous poem with her name, Balkis. All of these conflicts shaped Qabbani's personal worldview. After months of Balkis's tragic death, Qabbani's heart condition worsened as he had a successful bypass surgery and slowly coped with his crisis of losing his beloved Balkis. Qabbani's second collection, written from a woman's viewpoint, aroused women to fight against gender discrimination and to stand up for their social rights. Though he is considered a feminist poet and a fighter for women's liberation, and his second collection of poetry, Childhood of a Breast, has established his reputation as a poet who is not afraid to explore female femininity, but he has been criticized for focusing on the beauty of woman and female body and ignoring her identity. Nizar Qabbani viewed women as an image of a beautiful being, a woman whose only role is a lover in his poems. He uses the notion of romantic love to paralyze her resistance of oppression. Not to forget, he fails to address women for their intelligence, personalities, and beings. Qabbani relates women to nature and he objectifies her body. He further asks for the right of love, but he misses all the other rights that are not granted for women, especially in Eastern societies. Qabbani criticizes the inequality between men and women in some poems, as in a letter from a stupid woman, which shows how men do not understand women unless they're obedient to them. Qabbani therefore lamented the double standards of Arab society where males were treated better than females with more money spent on their education. Qabbani died in London at age of 75 and he asked to be buried in Damascus. He wrote, I quote, "I want my body to be transported after my death to Damascus to be buried there with my folks. The womb that taught me poetry taught me creativity and granted me the alphabet of jasmine. This is the way a bird returns home and a baby to his mother's bosom." The poem, When I Love You, is translated perfectly into English by Frangier and Brown, and the poem is about how a deep love captivates a lover's mind and senses, and the strength of love gives power to a lasting existence despite repressive and destructive societies and influences. The poem is about a man and woman's relationship and how language, words, and grammar cannot control us if we are in love. At the end of the poem, Qabbani, by using highly sublime descriptive imagery and oversensitive emotion, shows that the lover is unable to express or find the right words for love and for its effects. When I love you, a new language springs up, new cities, new countries discovered. The hours breathe like puppies. The first stanza shows how the lover's emotions and senses are engaged and how they enchant his thoughts and emotions, which drive him to start a journey of discovering new things, like a newborn baby who is full of active vitality. In the second verse, the poem transformed from the sensual emotions to the social aspects of the relationship. Wheat grows between the pages of books. Birds fly from your eyes with tidings of honey. Caravans ride from your breasts carrying Indian herbs. The mangoes fall all around. The forests catch fire and Nubian drums beat. Vital life here is expressed with fantastical and sensual images. So there is wheat growing from book pages which indicate the confused mind of a lover who cannot start his love journey of adventuring and dreaming. Birds flying from the lover's eyes with tidings of honey remind us of old traditions of sending secret love letters by birds. Now we come to the third stanza. When I love you, your breasts shake off their shame. Turn into lightning and thunder, a sword, a sandy storm. When I love you, the Arab cities leap up and demonstrate against the ages of repression and the ages of revenge, against the laws of the tribe.